Award-winning rapper Lil Nas X has been arrested in Los Angeles after a shocking early morning incident. Police say they were called to Ventura Boulevard at 5:30 a.m. local time, that's 12:30 Greenwich Mean Time on Thursday, August 21, 2025, after reports of a man walking down the street in his underwear. When officers arrived, the Los Angeles Police Department alleged the Old Town Road singer, whose real name is Montero Lamar Hill, charged at them. He was then arrested on suspicion of battery. Authorities later confirmed he was taken to the hospital for treatment following what they believe may have been a possible overdose. A police spokesperson, Charles Miller, told reporters that the situation is still under investigation, while the BBC has reached out to the rapper's representatives for official comment. Meanwhile, unverified video clips published by TMZ appear to show Lil Nas X dancing in the middle of the street in just underwear and cowboy boots, shouting and encouraging passers-by to, quote, come to the party.
Don't be late to the party tonight.
Where at?
You know where it's at. No, go ahead, babe. No, 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 no.
The clips spread quickly online and have added even more attention to the unfolding case. This comes at a crucial moment in his career, as Lil Nas X has been teasing his much-anticipated second studio album, Dream Boy, set for release later this year. Just days before this incident, he was posting previews of his new music on Instagram, building hype among fans worldwide.
Hey, boy, coming to the party!
Born Montero Lamar Hill, Lil Nas X became the first openly gay man to win a Country Music Association award after the massive success of Old Town Road in 2019. That song went on to win 2 Grammy Awards and broke records by holding the #1 spot on the Billboard Hot 100 for 17 consecutive weeks, making it the longest-running #1 single in history. But alongside his music, the rapper has consistently sparked controversy. His hit Montero, also known as Call Me By Your Name, was slammed by conservatives in the United States, who labeled the music video depraved and evil. In response, Lil Nas X trolled his critics with a fake apology video on YouTube that cut straight into the infamous lap dancing scene, and on Twitter he even joked that he wanted his haters' tears to fill his Grammy cup. Now, with this latest arrest, questions are being raised not only about his health and well-being but also about how this might affect the rollout of his upcoming album and his public image. As of now, no official statement has been made by his team, and the world will be watching closely to see how Lil Nas X addresses this dramatic turn of events. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss an update.
Bankhead taught me that one. Woo! Don't miss the party tonight. Why are you still here? You need to be
The United Nations is sounding the alarm with one of its strongest statements yet, declaring that famine in Gaza is starvation by design and man-made by the government of Israel. Speaking on Wednesday, UN Human Rights Chief Volker Turk said the famine was the direct result of actions taken by the Israeli government, accusing Israel of unlawfully restricting the entry of aid into the territory. Israel has been under mounting international condemnation for months over the humanitarian crisis. The latest report from the Integrated Food Security Phase Classification, or IPC, warns that widespread starvation is imminent, unless urgent changes are made. To try and respond to the pressure, the Israeli military said last month it had begun airdropping humanitarian aid into Gaza. But aid agencies slammed the move as a grotesque distraction, arguing that airdrops are ineffective compared to allowing supplies in through established land routes. And the criticism hasn't stopped there. Warnings have been issued about the dangers of these drops. Some pallets have reportedly killed civilians when they fell, and BBC Verify says at least 10 drops landed in areas where the Israeli military itself had told civilians not to enter. Israel also announced humanitarian corridors for UN convoys, but the UN says the amount of aid entering Gaza remains nowhere near enough. COGAT, the Israeli body overseeing aid, claims about 300 trucks are entering each day. But the UN insists 600 trucks daily are needed to prevent mass starvation. This deepening crisis comes as Israel prepares to launch a new offensive aimed at occupying Gaza City. It's part of a wider campaign launched after the Hamas-led attack on southern Israel on October 7, 2023, which killed about 1,200 people and saw 251 others taken hostage. Since then, the death toll in Gaza has reached at least 62,122, according to the Hamas-run health ministry. Meanwhile, more than 90% of homes in the Strip are damaged or destroyed, healthcare and sanitation systems have collapsed, and most of the population has been displaced multiple times. The UN says famine can still be prevented, but only if immediate and unrestricted humanitarian access is granted. And before we continue, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to stay updated with stories like this one. This is one of the gravest warnings yet, that starvation in Gaza is not just a tragedy of war, but a man-made disaster. A stunning twist in Donald Trump's long legal battles. On Thursday, August 21, 2025, a New York appeals court threw out the enormous $500 million civil fraud penalty against him. The decision came from a divided panel of 5 judges in the state's mid-level appellate division, nearly 11 months after the case was argued. The penalty, originally imposed by Judge Arthur Engoron in 2024, had grown with interest to more than $515 million and threatened to shake the foundations of Trump's real estate empire. Engoron had found that Trump and his company engaged in fraud by inflating the value of properties and exaggerating his wealth in financial statements submitted to lenders and insurers. The court ordered Trump to pay $355 million, and with penalties applied to his sons Eric and Donald Jr., the total judgment exceeded $527 million. But on Thursday, Judges Diane T. Renwick and Peter H. Moulton wrote that forcing Trump to hand over nearly $500 million amounted to an excessive fine in violation of the Eighth Amendment. The ruling is not a complete victory, however. The appeals court left restrictions on Trump and his son's ability to lead companies in New York intact, though those limits remain paused while the case is appealed further. And Attorney General Letitia James, who filed the lawsuit, immediately vowed to challenge the ruling at New York's highest court, saying, "Yet another court has ruled that the president violated the law and that our case has merit." Trump wasted no time claiming victory. Just hours after the decision, he posted on Truth Social that it was a great win for America, again calling the lawsuit a political witch hunt and election interference. His former lawyer Alina Habba also celebrated, calling the ruling a resounding victory and proof that the original penalty was politically motivated, legally baseless, and grossly excessive. By the way, if you're finding this breakdown helpful, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss these updates as the story continues to unfold. But the legal fight is far from over. James insists Trump engaged in what she called lying, cheating, and staggering fraud, pointing to examples like tripling the size of his Trump Tower penthouse on paper. State lawyers argue these inflated values misled banks into risky deals, giving Trump better loan terms than other borrowers. Trump's defense team counters that disclaimers were included and that lenders were always repaid. The case, which began years before Trump's return to the White House in January 2025, is only one of several legal battles he still faces. In January, he was discharged in a hush-money criminal case, though his conviction remains on record. And just months ago, in June, a federal appeals court upheld a jury's ruling that he sexually abused and defamed writer E. Jean Carroll, leaving him on the hook for millions in damages. For now, the $500 million penalty is gone, but with Letitia James preparing an appeal, this courtroom saga is far from its last chapter.